Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Today we're talking about my Green Bay Packers. 4 straight victories, sitting at 8-8. The fate of the playoffs is in their hands. It's right there in the palm. And all you got to do is take down the Detroit Lions. Sunday night football. I absolutely love it. I cannot wait. Schedule is going to be cleared. This is going to be one phenomenal football game, even if you're not a Packers or Lions fan. But today we're talking about the Green Bay Packers. If you guys are new here, be sure to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, as I post daily NFL content. Starting to post more Packers videos. This is my team, man. I've loved this team ever since I started watching football. And I'm so sorry if any Lions fans are watching this video, because you guys are just a great fan base and you have a really promising, exciting team. I feel so confident for the Packers making the playoffs. And to be honest with you, this isn't a playoff video. If they play San Francisco, if they play Dallas, no matter who they play, it's looking like San Francisco. Who knows, though? We'll deal with that when it comes. I don't care about any of that. I get the track record against San Francisco. I get it. Blah, blah, blah. Last Super Bowl over 10 years ago. Blah, blah, blah. I get it. All I care about is making the playoffs. Because this team started off with that disgusting road loss against Minnesota to start off the season. We got wins against Chicago, Tampa Bay, and New England. And then it just hit the fan, man. We lost 7 of our next 8 football games. There was a nice sprinkle of taking down Dallas in there, which gave us all a little bit of hope. But man, these last 4 weeks, the last month or so has just been awesome. As a Packers fan, being 4-8 with the destiny, your own destiny in your own hands, that is crazy to me. 4-8, man. People were selling their tickets. There's going to be a lot of Lions fans, folks, at this game. Now, I feel so good about Detroit, and I'm so sorry once again to Lions fans. Seattle can pretty much kick out Detroit at, I think, noon. It might be 3:30, but if Seattle wins, Detroit's out. I don't think that will matter all that much. You could find pros about if Seattle wins. You could find pros about if Seattle loses in regards to Detroit's morale and just like the psychology and all that. I personally don't think it really matters. I'm not even thinking about that at all. This game, though, honestly, as a Packers fan and just as a football fan, what I want to see is I want to see Seattle lose. And I want just win and you're in for both teams, because I think that's just the best storyline. I think that's just good football. Sorry, Seahawks fans, but I don't know. There's nothing like a rivalry game, a divisional rivalry game in any division in the league in the last week of the season in prime time. There's just simply nothing better than that. It's like this nice teaser. It's this nice taste of the playoffs before they get there. Now, the Green Bay Packers, I feel so good about this team right now, and it mainly has to do with the defense and the run game. Aaron Jones, another 1,000-yard season this past week is when he accomplished that. He's got almost 1,100 yards on the season. He's averaging 5.3 yards per attempt. Now, I know he's been dealing with some injuries, specifically in the last several weeks, but I anticipate a heavy dosage of Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon. And A.J.'s right there, man. 737 yards on the season, 4.2 yards per rush. He has 7 rushing touchdowns. So you have over 1,800 rushing yards with your 1 and 2 running backs. It's one of the best, if not the best, 1-2 punch duos in the entire National Football League as far as the running back position goes. We saw Detroit get just destroyed's the wrong word, but it was a tough loss from Detroit against the Carolina Panthers, who just nonstop ran the football. It was nonstop. They just ran. This past week, they blew out the Chicago Bears. Justin Fields got a little bit injured early on. It also was just a great win for Detroit. So don't let their stats fool you. This team has won, 7 of their last 8. They're a top 5 offense. Yes, defensively, defensive rating, defensive points per game, it's honestly not even the most important defensive statistic, but they rank 29th, giving up about 26 points a game. But that's kind of the weakness, is the defense. So I anticipate a clean game from Aaron Rodgers. I don't think he's going to force too many balls, but he's still going to make enough throws that he has to do, just like we saw this past week against Minnesota. And I think that run game, just like we saw against Minnesota, is the blueprint to winning that game. Now, What makes this team so scary is their defense. All right, it simply comes down to their I mean, obviously you have Aaron Rodgers, one of the best quarterbacks of all time, technically the back-to-back MVP, but defensively is where things start to get fun, because the Green Bay Packers have had 4 takeaways in back-to-back weeks. They haven't done that since 2016. That's like 7 years ago. It was a very long time. The Packers defense does not get too much respect. They're currently ranked 17th in defensive rating, giving up about 22 points per game. Specifically, it's really turned on the last several weeks against Minnesota, Miami, against the Rams, even against Chicago. You know, they gave up like 40 to Philly the week before that. The issue with the defense was not even the talent, or a lack of talent, therefore. Like, it really simply was the offense was not running the ball. We were not moving the chains. We were not having our long possessions. You saw it against Minnesota several times, where they have these 7 to 8 minute long possessions where they're just running the football, and Aaron Rodgers is like 4 of 5 for 34 yards on the drive. That's the blueprint. Because yes, we're going to give up 40 points to Philadelphia if we're not moving the chains, and we can't get first downs, and we can't get into enemy territory, and then the defense has to come out 3 minutes after they just came off the field. So that to me has been a big difference maker, is they're running the ball more, they're eating up way more clock than we were in that disastrous losing streak. And guys like Quay Walker, Adrian Amos, Devondre Campbell, Rasul Douglas, Preston Smith, Jaire Alexander, they're just more rested now. I want to give a lot of praise to our DBs as well. Rasul Douglas on the season, 4 interceptions. Jaire Alexander, 5 interceptions. He held Justin Jefferson, an undisputed top 3 wide receiver in the entire league. In fact, I'd put him at number 2, right behind Mr. Davante Adams, obviously. Got to pay homage, but he held him to 1 catch, less than 20 yards. And the time where Justin got his catch was in zone. Jaire wasn't even on him. Kenny Clark. These are guys you want rested. Jared Reed, Darnell Savage, Dean Lowry, Rudy Ford. Even though Rashawn Gary went down and he was having one hell of a start of a season, there are so many names, there are so many playmakers on this defensive side. But if the Packers aren't eating up the clock like we have in the last 3 years, that defense is going to be out there way too often. So I fully anticipate a heavy dose of run football on offense to keep that offense out on the field, to tire out that Lions defense, and keep our defense fresh. It's going to be a fun game regardless of if Seattle wins or not. I can't wait to see it. I love the Detroit Lions. I used to live in Detroit. Obviously, I'm a diehard Green Bay Packer fan, so this is going to be a fun game for me. And I know it's going to be a fun game for you guys. Obviously, after starting the season 3-1, then going to 4-8, it's been one crazy storyline, and I do feel like there's something special in the air, very similar to when we won it all in the Super Bowl. I know it's a little bit far-fetched, but regardless, I'm excited to just watch some playoff football on Sunday night. It's going to be awesome. Hope you guys enjoyed. Hit the like button, hit that sub button for more daily NFL content. If you want more Packers videos, let me know down below. Hit that like button. Let's try and get to 200 likes on today's video, and I'll catch you guys later.